Well, first up, let's begin with a breaking update coming in from Israel, where multiple bus explosions that have been reported, where bombs exploded on 3 Israeli buses, and these blasts that has been reported in Bat Yam, where no injuries, however, that have been reported, as the police suspect it is a possibility of a terror attack. And the Israeli defense minister seems to be blaming the Palestinian groups, where Netanyahu, the prime minister there, is also expected to hold a security meeting. So Israeli police have reported series of explosions on buses in central Israel as to what they say appears to be a terror attack. No injuries that have been reported. Police forces that have been rushed to the scene in Bat Yam at Tel Aviv suburb as they searched for suspects. However, the defense minister there seems to be blaming certain Palestinian terror organization of carrying out the blast, while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was set to hold a security meeting. Multiple reports that have been received of explosions, including several buses at different locations in Bat Yam, said the police in a statement. However, what is being said that there were other explosive devices that may have been also found. As far as the search for suspects is also concerned, that continues. We have Srinjoy with us right now. Srinjoy, can you give us the details of these multiple series of explosions that have been reported?
Yes, series in the buses. The most important thing is that there have been no casualties. The fact that there are no casualties is very significant. We now have to see if the peace process will continue as a result or will be affected by these explosions. Because most importantly, just recently 4 bodies have been returned by the Hamas. Now, there are still hostages with the Hamas, and those hostages have to be returned. Now, that process is continuing, and let's hope these explosions in buses, which have not led to any casualties, will not affect the peace process. The hostages will be returned, and Palestinians in Israeli custody will also be returned. If the peace process continues, then at least the West Asian situation will have some chance.
Right, but Palestinian terror groups are said to be behind such kind of explosions that have been reported, according to the defense minister there in Israel. What more can you tell us on the day when Prime Minister Netanyahu was to hold a security review meeting?
Yes, there is a suspicion that these were terror groups and Palestinian terror groups, which is the worry. Now, the question is that even now, even today, there are still hostages with the Hamas. Now, that is the concern even for Israelis. If it is a Palestinian terror group which is responsible for this, if it is the Hamas or one of its associates responsible for this, will this mean a return to hostilities? If that happens, then there is a question about hostages. So it's a very complicated situation. Yes, the Israeli defense minister has suggested there could be Palestinian terrorists, and one that is clearly a possibility always. But again, we have to know for sure, and then a decision on these hostages will be very important.
All right. Multiple explosions that have now been reported, according to what the Israeli government has been talking about. The police also saying that bombs on 3 buses exploded in the central city of Bat Yam on Thursday evening, with the local officials saying that there were no injuries or casualties reported, with the Israeli defense minister accusing certain Palestinian terror organizations of carrying out these blasts, while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was set to hold a security meeting. However, when it comes to the preliminary reports that suggest that it is a terror attack, and multiple reports that have also been received of explosions involving several buses in different locations in